now it is a pleasure to welcome the latest addition to the Hall of Fame. The committee deliberates in earnest and really does their homework when we're going to turn around and induct somebody into the hall. I've been the chairman for, well, once I got inducted in the Hall of Fame in '85, they made me the chairman and I've been stuck with it ever since. I don't know how the hell that works. But we've inducted a number of contributors over the years, and I don't know anyone that is more deserving than Gary Cruz. He eats, sleeps, drinks, breathes, I'm sure, for what he would do for him. And it's with a great deal of pleasure that I ask Leanne back up here to make the official induction. Thank you.
We didn't change the order on coach. We changed the order on a lot of people, but we didn't change it on coach yet. Thanks, Coach. Before I start, I gotta let you know that after painting the first 79, that's how many people are in the Hall of Fame. 79 portraits in the Hall of Fame. Albus Grant, he's handed the torch over to Dave Delaney of Portland, Oregon. And as you can see here, we're very fortunate to have another very talented artist in our handball community. So Dave, not here, but Chatton, I know you're going to tell me how to dance at the banquet because he's from Portland. Awesome. Thank you. Albus is doing well. He's in a home he can't see well enough to paint, but if you talk to him, it's like he's still 75. 93 is about 94, I think. And I was trying to keep it short, but I have to tell the story about our beloved Albus. He's also in the Handball thing. When we opened the building in '94, there were only about 50 people in the Hall of Fame. And 14 of those paintings, the original painting, by the way, is going to be hanging in the Hall of Fame. This is a copy. He's not the original. A little bit there, that. But anyhow, Albus, we couldn't find 14 of them. And because Albus was on his own doing one for everybody in the Hall of Fame. And God bless him, he couldn't find 14. You know what he did? He redid it. He's an amazing man. I don't have the patience. If you met him, you wouldn't think he had that patience. But he's got that patience. There's a lot of reasons, you know, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of reasons we're here. But we can't cover all the reasons that Gary Cruz is going to be done for Handball. We've already got amazing people like Albus, like Coach Al. And each one has had a major impact on the sport. But no one has impacted handball in as many ways as Gary Cruz. Some people are great organizers and tournament directors, just like Gary. Some people are great workers and USHA board members, just like Gary. Gary's known as the Energizer Bunny by the board members and those of the game's most active promoters. Some people are great motivators, just like Gary, because no one in here would turn down anything that Gary asked them to do. Some people are great teachers, just like Gary. Some people are great fundraisers, just like Gary. Some people are great givers, just like Gary. But no one embodies all these attributes well or as much as Gary. You don't know how fortunate we are. Because Gary's dad, thank God, was an LA fireman, and thus a handball player. We got lucky. Because Gary was also coaching, playing, and umpiring baseball in the Torrance San Pedro area during his early days as a postman. When his mom passed away, Gary moved back closer to his dad and got involved in those cats. Naturally, Gary joined forces with Tom Gilbert, and the two were inseparable and inspirational to all of SoCal handball for the next 20 years. There's one thing Gary can't do as well as anyone in the Hall of Fame, and that's play. And I can tell you I'm glad, because there's no worry about Gary being on the court instead of off the court working for handball. Gary did tell me one of his early learning students, Mike Robles, he saw some gloves hanging on Gary's shirt bag. And he said, hey, let's play. Gary served. He hit one of his best patented offensive shots. You know, the one that caroms off the side of his hand. And the right hand. He scored the first point. And then Mike, who's one of the few players who can hop the ball more than his brother John, got the serve. Mike hit the first hook that Gary had never seen. Gary had a good awareness for handball. And he's still trying to read it up. Handball players like Gary make us all proud to be handball players. You can ask anyone in the USHA, and I can tell you that most anyone in SoCal would take a bullet for Gary. And that's because he deflected so many hot shots and deflated so many arguments. I've seen him do it. Irate players converge on him. He smiles, he shrugs, he gives, I feel your pain chuckle. And the situation is over. You can see him on some of these pictures. It's deflated, it's over. And most importantly, when it comes to growing the game, Gary would be no stone unturned. And for Gary, that means a good character of handball player. It's top of the list. Making sure our game stays strong with good people. Whether it be a national organization to partner with, a local PE teacher, a startup handball instructor, or a single player, Gary's on. This is where it's going to be turned over to Leanne. But Gina, for some unknown reason, decided Gary was a good catch. She still does. She wanted to share some insights. Now for the people. On our first trip to England, my nephew Piers was one of the first members of my family to meet Gary. Piers was about 8 or 9. Within 24 hours of us touching down in England, there was handball being played. I might have not reacted. Handball being played. It was the first time I ever saw Gary play one ball, and probably the last. I guess Gary figured out the way to win our hearts was through handball. Years later, he managed to convince a teenage Piers that playing at the Venice Beach handball tournament would be a good idea. And he managed him of that more than once. That doesn't speak to Piers' natural ability, but to connect Gary's conviction and promotion. When Gina told Piers what was happening, he wanted to share his thoughts also. From Piers. Since Uncle Gary joined our family over 10 years ago, I have learned about his unwavering support for all things handball. He has introduced his great support to me and many others through one-on-one sessions in the court, as well as large classrooms for PE teachers. I've been so impressed that Gary uses all his experience and kindness to develop the sport and use handball as a vehicle to bring different communities of people together. The rest of his UK family and I are also proud of what Gary has achieved, and we are also pleased that his contributions and efforts are being recognized tonight. Gary, We all celebrate. We're next on our side of the pond. Lots of love. A little bit more from Gina. I'm glad you won my heart and the hearts of my family. I am so very proud of all of your achievements in handball. We have a great respect for all that you have done and continue to do for the school. Now, if you've been to Gary's Beach House, you know space is an issue. But Gina finished with this. Gary, you can continue to bring home as many handball pictures as you want. Most of us have never met anyone else like Gary. Only like anyone. There's only one. And it's really special. Thank you, Gary, for all you do for me, USHA, and handball. You deserve this great honor, the honor of being inducted with these other great people in sports industry. That's okay. Can you help me out here? Ladies and gentlemen, our president, Andrew, and pleasure working with Gary Newman.
So, Gary Cruz. So many of us know him because of his friendliness and the way he puts himself out there. Some of us know him extremely well. Many of you know him as the guy behind the scenes. You might know him as the person at the tournament control desk, or you might know him as the one running around looking for referees like this morning. A few of us unfortunate ones know him as a sweaty guy with a plastic apron at the bar here at Wolf's Cab. By the way, he was shirtless. This image has been burned into our minds, and now it can be burned into yours. I'm sorry, Gina. Some of you know Gary is the one running around the second site and running the second site. No matter where he is, he's the guy who's at the tournament until midnight and back in the tournament at 7 in the morning the next day. Some of you know him as the one who diffuses angry people. Schools know him as the guy who trains teachers to teach handball. You see, Gary is all of these things. He's everywhere, and he does everything, and with that laugh, that Gary laugh, that can make anyone feel like a close friend. And to be honest, I have never seen anyone deliver bad news in a way that the other person ends up smiling and has no idea what's happening. For decades, I've worked with Gary closely as a board colleague, a partner in youth programs, a co-presenter at handball clinics, and as someone who shares a love and a passion for handball. He has so many accomplishments and qualities that make him an exemplary handball contributor. So let me just try to give you an idea of what Gary has done. Among other things, at the regional level, Gary has served as tournament director of the Southern California Handball Association regional tournament 14 times. Oh, just wait. He's been the tournament director of the SCHA Hall of Fame tournament 22 times. Wait, what? Yes. For tournament administration at the larger level, among other things, Gary has been instrumental in the success of the Simple Green tournament 5 times. He was the tournament director of the National 3-Ball Junior tournament 8 times. He served as director of the National 4-Ball Collegiate Tournament Championships in 2007. Gary was tournament director of the National 1-Ball Junior Tournament 5 times. He's been the director of this National 4-Ball Championship in 1998, 2001, 2006, 2009, 2012, 2015, and now in 2017. In case you weren't counting, that's 7 times. Oh, by the way, he's also run the National Masters Doubles Championship, the Winners Classic, the Junior Nationals, and the National Big Ball Junior Tournament. So for those of you who have run a national level tournament, you know it's tremendously hard, not just from the organizational side or the facility side or the fundraising side or the hospitality side. it's all hard. You know what it takes to gear up for one national tournament. If you add all the tournaments that Gary has administered, he has run close to 70, that's 70, large, significant tournaments from 1995 to 2017. That's 3 national or equivalent tournaments a year for 22 years. Gary Cruz is exhausting. Gary's committed to supporting and growing our sport. He served on the USHA Board of Directors, holding the role of Vice President, Services and Revenue Committee Chair, Promotions Committee Chair, First Ace Committee Chair, Youth Development Coordinator, Director of Player Development, and Director of Program Development. And even when Gary's not holding an official title, he helps out the USHA in so many ways. Even with the tedious task of constructing the minutes of the Board of Directors meetings. He's been a presenter of instructional clinics at Handball Nationals 10 times. He's done 75 instructional clinics for schools and school districts. He's done 175 clinics for potential handball instructors. He's taught about 400 physical education classes. He's introduced over 800 youngsters to handball, and he's certified over 100 handball instructors. He's a level 5 instructor and a level 5 referee. He's also a writer. He's written about 40 articles for the Handball magazine, and he's been the editor, publisher, reporter, and author of SCHA Communications since 1996. I know. You have seen Gary volunteer at 10 national collegiate tournaments and over 25 four-wall nationals. He's been the USHA representative at state, regional, and national physical education and recreation conferences. He's promoted and represented the USHA at prestigious meetings such as Let's Move, the Search Institute, Character Counts, and the President's Council on Physical Fitness. In my opinion, Gary has done the work of dozens of people, and it's really too bad we can induct him only once as a contributor. And at the sacrifice of developing his own handball skills and game, the countless hours Gary has devoted to promoting handball and helping other people's handball games as a contributor are the sole reasons he's not being inducted as a player. Okay, I know, too many of you have seen him play, so maybe not. Regardless, his contributions are countless. Gary as a person is no less impressive. His strength of character, his positive attitude, I would describe him as pathologically optimistic. His sense of humor with that Gary laugh make him an amazing person and friend. When he worked with collegiate youth programs, he didn't back down from a challenge. He realized he needed to familiarize himself with social media, so he led the way. When he needed to organize groups of people and meetings, he brought himself up to speed with technology tools to help disseminate information. When he became involved in schools programs, he learned education speak, to talk to physical educators and school administrators. I should say that not all this learning happened seamlessly. He did prepare a PowerPoint presentation to public school folks addressing the benefits of handball in the physical education curriculum. There's that one. I have no idea how many districts or how many people he presented to before I saw on one slide that he wanted to communicate a benefit of handball as it works both sides of the body. In other words, handball is a bilateral sport. One of those terms that physical educators understand. Unfortunately, in about 72-point font on that slide, instead of saying handball is bilateral, Gary said handball is bipolar. It might be. Another great quality that Gary has is he receives feedback and correction with grace and appreciation. I've had the honor, and I say that in all sincerity, the honor of working with him for many years. All of what Gary does is from the goodness of his heart, the integrity of his soul, the passion in his gut, and with the support of his wife, Gina. So thank you, Gina, for sharing him with us. On top of it all, Gary's a workaholic, he's selfless, he's generous with his time, he's dependable, he is adored, he is honest, and he is humble. I can always count on Gary to be candid yet compassionate. One of Gary's very close friends, Tom So from Northern California, has been Gary's partner in crime for many years. They've roomed together at meetings and tournaments. And just as a side note, when Gary and Tom roomed together, whatever room they shared, let's say it was room 502, it became Club 502. If they were at a different hotel and their room was 1710, their room became Club 1710. Now, I have never been a patron of their club, but many of you were. Gary and Tom also worked together, played handball together, argued with each other, drank together, and stood by each other for decades. Tom, regrettably, is not able to attend this evening, so I contacted Tom and asked him what he would say about Gary. Tom's response was simple. It was 4 words. He said, "Never liked the guy." So, even when we know that Tom is a curmudgeon, we know he was kidding because it's simply impossible to not love Gary Cruz. So what do other nicer people have to say about Gary? Fellow Hall of Famer Pete Tyson also refers to Gary as the Energizer Bunny. Previous USHA President Mike Steele says, "I don't know anyone with more energy or commitment to the game than Gary. A lot of people have to go to work. Work and play are separate worlds, not for Gary. Sure, he lifts heavy bags of ice and puts in countless volunteer hours, but it's not work. It's not work to him. I have never heard him complain about anything he has done on behalf of handball. If there's anyone out there who doesn't like Gary Cruz, whoever it is comes from another galaxy. He's one of the very, very few in the handball universe who has no enemies. That alone is worthy of Hall of Fame membership." And by the way, Mike Steele also used the words Energizer Bunny to describe Gary. Another USHA president, Bob Hickman, had much to say about Gary. Bob says, "I served with Gary as a fellow board member, as president when he was on the board, and as a committee member chaired by Gary after my departure from the board. Gary was no different in any of these scenarios. Cruz is a get-it-done person, willing to take the time, make the time, and find a solution to whatever task he undertook. Fair, honest, hardworking, and a heart dedicated to making handball better and making his relationships meaningful and endearing. As president, when Gary would volunteer for something, I knew it would be done thoughtfully, thoroughly, and without fanfare. He never let me, the board, or handball down. Gary has a knack of bringing out the best in those he works with. He's a great listener and asks questions until all avenues are explored. He personally steered me in the right direction many times, including my way to the room after many late-night discussions in the Cruz room, but now we know, translation, that's Club 701 or whatever. Bob went on to say, "I'm extremely proud to have had the opportunity to rub shoulders with Gary in our mutual attempt to make our sport better. P.S. I'm confident Gary's best efforts lie ahead." Gary, did you hear that? We appreciate Bob for setting that expectation. Several years ago, I told Gary I wanted to nominate him for the Hall of Fame. He blushed, he said he was flattered, but there was no chance he would get inducted. And as you know, this stuff takes time, sometimes a couple of years. So I called him a good time later, and I actually caught him on the golf course. I said, "Gary, you know I submitted your nomination for the Hall of Fame. Well, I have some bad news." He interrupted and he said, "Yeah, I knew it wouldn't fly. Don't worry about it. I didn't expect it, but I appreciate you trying. I knew it wouldn't happen." I said, "Gary, the bad news is you have to dress up and make a speech." The good news is you've been inducted into the Hall of Fame. So there was some silence, and then there was that Gary laugh, and then came the many, many thanks. Because you see, not only is he humble, he's also very appreciative. Of all the people I've met through handball and all the people I know from working at the USHA, Gary Cruz embodies the USHA mission. That is to organize, promote, and spread the joy of handball, a perfect game. And in fact, a fitting mission for tonight is to organize, promote, and spread the joy of Gary, the perfect contributor. Gary does this with boundless energy, limitless passion, clear compassion, inexhaustible commitment to volunteerism, immeasurable love for handball and handball players, and he does it all with Gina at his side, a smile on his face, and that Gary laugh. So ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame class of 2017, Gary Cruz.
I made a mistake by filling in my speech, but they just gave it. The good news is I can throw some stories in there. And I'll start off with my level of play. So one year we were in Minnesota, and Tom and I paired up and we're playing on the court, and I look back to see who's refereeing, because Tom Stove is the game chair committee, and he can be hard on the ref. So I look back and I say, well, I wonder who our fourth ref is, because Tom's going to call him on everything. I look back, and there's Vern Roberts. On one side of Vern is Pete Tyson, and on the other side of Vern is Leanne Martin. So I say, well, that's kind of neat. And we start playing, and most of the time Tom and I's goal is to keep our opponent on the court for our full hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes we were successful. But to win a match was unheard of, but we would try to get our hour in. So we're playing, and I'm looking behind at Vern, and I see people coming up and looking, because they seen this firepower refereeing this match. Vern Roberts, Pete Tyson, and Leanne Martin. This is Minnesota, it's just one long hallway. We got to go see that match. And they come down and they look at our match and they look at the scorecard and they look at Vern. There's going to be an argument here coming up or something. And they watch us play and we're giving everything away. There's no volatility or not. And then they'd leave and somebody else would come by and do the same thing. And they never figured that one out. Dan mentioned New York. I spent some years in New York. My wife was working at Brooks Brothers at the time. The best thing that ever happened to United States handball. I wound up doing all these junior tournaments there. And if Dan, if you reach back into Dan's conversation, he talked about the referee, the line judge, the short line judge, the other line judge. All those people have to be run down. We can't get one ref. And New Yorkers are tough. And I don't know any of them. Here, when I'm doing a tournament here and they see me coming, they go the other way because they know I know them. But in New York, I didn't know any of them. And I'm trying to run down 4 referees and a linesman. And so it was tough. New York was, but you cut your teeth on those type of things. You cut your teeth on those type of things. And, I don't know who settled that, who roomed me with Tom So, but Tom and I, we were like oil and water on a lot of items, but we're best friends for the rest of our lives. And Tom does what I do in Northern California, and he's still on the board of directors, and I've appreciated everything that he's done with me. We talk about Bob Hickman saying he's led me down the hallway after Club 101 or whatever room it was. Well, what he means by that is, and I use this sometime in my teaching, he had to get to his room down the hall, and he would hit one side of the aisle, of the hallway. Then he'd, oh no, good, over here. Then he'd hit the other side of it. And eventually he made it to his room, but it's like a boat going down on the harbor. And it's what they don't talk about is the Club 101 or whatever one it was most of that was on Saturday night. And on Sunday morning, those board members will attest, is a tough day because that's the budget day. Those are hard choices. The first couple of days of the board meeting, everything is great. We're going to make everything. Now we got to pay for it. And that's Sunday. And we're sitting there like this. We're sitting there. And when they talk about the club, and we're talking about all the handball woes and whatnot, one of the reasons that it happened in Club 101 and not in the board meeting is because there's no Robert's Rules of Order. And there's no president with a gavel. I think Mike Steele actually brought a hammer out. So they keep these people in. Well, switching gears a little bit, like Leanne says, I was shocked. And I had to spin it. And I spin it that I'm accepting this on behalf of a lot of volunteers. I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy my time and respect all the board members that I've served with on the United States Handball Association, Southern California Handball Association. And I want to share it, first of all, of the SCHA board members, if they please stand up. And there we go, the SCHA board members. A political announcement right now, which is we are hosting the Hall of Fame. And each of those board members have tickets to sell. It's August 19th. August 19th. It's at Tom Serrato's house. So he's the one that did a lot of the cooking for us and the meat here. All of a sudden everybody, we got some ticket sales right over here. I'd also like to have Larry Fisher stand up. Larry Fisher. I turned the gauntlet over to Larry. He took it for 5 years. Bless you, Larry. Bless you. Larry is also hosting the Tom Gilbert Birthday Bash coming up September 19th, 16th. So that was a very successful tournament last year, and we're looking forward to it again. So if you're in this room and you've served on any board of directors, please stand up. If you're in your local group or committee, anytime you've been on a board of directors, stand up. If you coach college level, coach some youth, if you've been a mentor to any new players, please stand up. So, that's what it's all about. Okay? It's all about those people. And it's all about replicating those people. That's how we've got to go forward, is we need more volunteers. Don't wait to be asked. Everybody in this room is a potential volunteer. Handball's got some tough choices to make. We've got a lot of work to do. And a lot of it starts with the volunteers, and a lot of it starts with the organizations. And one of the things that I'm fearful of is that the organizations are maybe a little bit too fragmented, maybe a little bit aren't linked enough together. There needs to be one vision for handball. I don't know what that vision is, but it should be one vision that everybody collectively works with and works moving forward on it. Handball is not the only sport that's suffering. I was blessed. A lot of us in this room are blessed. We grew up in an age where sport was popular. We just played. It wasn't organized. And everybody played. More and more, I'm seeing it, and I see it a little bit in handball as well, where the focus is on the elite player, the elite tennis player, the elite golfer. They get a big share of the pie. Dan Simmett's got an article that's going to be in the next magazine, and he talks to the trickle up versus the trickle down. Trickle down has the pro player, and everybody looks up to that player. And I'm a believer in the trickle up, where you have the coach that grabs, or the mentor that grabs the player and walks them through. Because we need that transfer. We lose them at the college level, so they need to be walked through. I'm blessed, as I've mentioned. I've got some people I want to introduce. I want to start with Gina. There's been a lot of talk about her. Stand up. This poor woman is married into this. She knew what she was getting. All right. She wants to thank everybody in here for all the t-shirts that you bought. She's in the apparel industry. She might have some issues with design, but she is appreciative of it. We've also got some family here from the UK. I'd like them to stand up. I was wondering, did the Queen give any message or anything? I thought for sure maybe she's a little busy. So these poor people yesterday, they flew into LAX, 2:45, made it through customs, got on the 405 freeway at 4 o'clock, had to get to Orange County. Everybody in this room knows what they went through. The 405 freeway is Southern California's answer to population explosion. It's how we control it. Mike Bach is here tonight. Mike, stand up, please. 405 freeway drove him to Phoenix. I'm going to thank a friend, a dear friend that's not with us tonight, and his name is Tom Gilbert. And what I want to do to save me from having to cry is I'd like everybody to have a little moment of silence to just think about anyone that you have lost over any time. So like a community moment of silence, please. This is the first tournament I've done without him, and I missed him. Tom did everything that I do, and did it better and did it longer. I don't know whether to thank him though or blame him. When Leanne starts knocking all these things out, I sit back and I go, gee, how did this start? How did this happen? And honestly, she made mention of me coming down to Lowe's Cab. Handball was 20 courts, hundreds of players. I was playing every night, and one night I just was looking for a beer. As simple as that. And all the tables are full, and everybody's drinking, and Ron Ratcliffe, some of you guys probably know Ron Ratcliffe, he said, Gary, come on over. So I went over there because they had beer, and they offered me to come over, and that turned out to be an SCHA board meeting. Wasn't long before I was on the SCHA board. And it wasn't much longer after that I was the SCHA board. And then I turned it over to Larry. So the USHA sniffs that stuff out. Somewhere around 1995. Who was the young man from Texas that was on the board at that time that was, he recruited for this region? Any ideas that name? He called me twice. He called me once in about 94 and once again in about 95. And both times it was, no, I'm too busy, or I've got my hands full. And then as many of you recall, in the 96, 97, 98, USHA was going through some turmoil. We had some tough times there. And I kind of felt obligated at that time. And unfortunately, I don't know that fragmentation hasn't changed a great deal, and that's what needs to heal, that fragment. We need to be all on the same page. But anyway, that's what got me on the USHA board. But believe me, I wouldn't have stayed on the USHA board if it wasn't for the people on that board. In particular, if it wasn't for Vern and Matt. Before him, Matt Carpenter. I've enjoyed Michelle and the people in the office. They're all close friends. They're all close friends. I'll make one motion thing and get off of here. When I started off at First Ace, I thought I had it all. We had lesson plans written by Leanne. I had a love for the game. The game was solid. Kids, when they were playing it, loved it. But something was wrong. It wasn't sticking. The kids were having fun. Everybody was at lesson plans. I don't know what else we could do. And I thought, well, what's missing? Well, two things were missing. One is, as much as I love educators, and I can't believe what they do. I really don't know how they do it. When I teach a handball class, a PE class, I can't wait to get home. And these educators are doing it every day. There's a lot of crowd control in there. But nobody can teach handball like a handball player. And we have some coaches in the room here, and they know what I'm talking about. They grab their player by the hand, and they carry him through all the way. All the way. So I've realized that handball players play a crucial role in youth development. They're essential. The other thing that I believe that we were missing was people don't see this. This is our intangible. I was sitting down there in the courts and I'm watching people come up and say, hugging them, haven't seen you for 10 days. Or haven't seen you for 2 years. How you been? You know, this community that we have is probably our intangible that needs to be a tangible. We don't have parents that give handball any respect. They don't see this part of handball. They see other parts of handball. And our image isn't what we know it to be. And I don't have that silver bullet. But that's our key, is finding a way to sell what we have right here. The game is great. Even though I'm not very good at it, I love to play. I love to play. My father, he wasn't any better than me. What do you think? But he loved the game. He loved the game. The firemen used to say, Cruz, let me see your ass. I want to see if you had a good game or not by how many times the ball hit it. So my dad loved to play, and he taught me that. And the fire department, even though I wasn't a fireman, taught me that sense of community. I don't know if we have any firemen. I think they're all downstairs marinating meat, because they're barbecuing tomorrow. So we may not have any firemen in there tonight, but if you see how the LA City Fire Department functions as a unit, and you see how handball players function as a unit, how we're friends anywhere we go, we have a handball friend. We need to find a way to sell that, because that's a precious commodity. The game lasts an hour and a half. We have people that showed up at 9 o'clock this morning that are still here today, and they only played for an hour and a half, but they're BSing for 12 hours. So I'm gonna, Mike Kane, are you around? Mike Kane has been a godsend to handball. He's been a godsend to me. Mike Kane is the go-to guy, but there's a Cameron family, there's a Hess family, there's multiple owners, and they let us get away with murder. So I'm pretty much done. How am I segueing over to you? How do I get off of this stage? Do I got to call Larry?
We need to have some words from our Southern California contingent and someone who maybe actually or any ball, any wall, or even Gary Cruz. Dennis Berger. A couple of words. It's gonna, he told us it's gonna be less than a minute, and Steve Hathaway, come on up for your toast. Put the jacket on Gary.
We really don't know who Gary Cruz is. We don't. And Gary passion of a missionary. He has especially pride in mainstream but he does it with humility. He labors and he toils day in and day out. Gary is kind, caring, considerate.
Why don't you say it back?
He's able
Dennis, I gotta interrupt you. Sorry, I forgot something in my speech. It's the most important part, I forgot. I'm sorry. Jan, raise your hand. Jan and I, who says my game stinks? Jan and I are co-champions, Palos Verdes High School, 1963, spring, 5th period. He's going in as a player. I'm sorry, Dennis.
last thing I'll say, Gary, is if you said time and money, it's worth $1,000,000. You're a role model.
So my name is Steve Hathaway. I'm President, General Manager of the Los Angeles Athletic Club, and I've been asked to give the final speech. Now, all the speeches you've heard before you have been very short, and so they've asked me to give a real long speech to conclude this beautiful evening, which I'm not going to do. Come on up here, Gary. Gary was going to check into his room. Gina's already walking out, I can see that. But this is a very special night. Now, those of you that know me, and I know a few of you because I've hung around handball with my beautiful wife Stephanie for the last 15 years, and I've gotten to know many of you, and I just truly love the sport. I have tried to play it. I wasn't very good at it. Gary's a lot better player than I was, obviously. But anyway, I have a real appreciation for the sport. And to start off, I want to say that the Contributor Award was something that my great-grandfather was awarded back in the early days. He was the first recipient of the USHA Contributors Award, Frank Garvin. And that's my great-grandfather. At the Los Angeles Athletic Club, when we opened the doors in 1912, Frank Garvin, my great-grandfather, who was instrumental in building the Los Angeles Athletic Club, made sure that the handball courts were the first part of the facilities that were open to its members before all the rest of the club was open, because he loved handball and he promoted handball in Los Angeles, and that was his sport. So Gary is our second Los Angeles Athletic Club member, which he is a member, to receive this distinguished award. So I want to thank USHA for honoring Gary, for everything that you've done, Gary, and there have been so many great accolades made tonight that I don't want to repeat, but Gary has meant so much to our members of the Los Angeles Athletic Club for all of his inspiration and help with not only tournaments, but with player development, which is, to me, more important than tournaments, because that's the future of this sport, and that's what we want to see nurtured in Southern California and all across the United States. So this is our inspiration right here, who is dedicated to handball. And Gary, we love everything you've done for us, and we congratulate you for your honor tonight. And so it's my pleasure to ask everyone to please stand again, raise a glass, because we're going to propose a toast to Gary Cruz for his award recognition, USHA Hall of Fame 2017. Gary, congratulations. And to all of your handball community out here, we love you, and congratulations for the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
See you tomorrow, Barry. Folks, if you didn't get a chance to get some dessert in the back, help yourselves. Thank you for being here, for being a part of this night. Once again, looking for rest tomorrow at 10 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being a part of tonight. Gary deserves it.